Hey, this is Sam Black with my fifth match with green-black ramp in Standard. I have a risky hand here. It's really good if I draw a forest, but as is, I only have 2 swamps. I'm actually going to keep it on the draw. I think as long as I have a green source in my top 3 cards, I'm happy with this hand. And if it's one of my top 2, then the hand becomes great. So, keep and hope for the best. I have 20 green sources in my deck, so I think I have good chances. This isn't that different from just keeping a hand that needs to draw any land. I have 3 swamps and 1 blighted fen that don't give me the mana I need. Well, at least this is a card I can cast, so it might help buy time. So I'm playing against rights again. Alright, good enough. Just gonna play a tracker here. Might actually be right to block here. I might be too greedy to do it though. Yep, I'll block. Catacomb Sifter is very good in this deck. The scries matter a lot. Getting it out of play seems valuable. Yeah, I don't let my opponent have that. Dead do Eldrazi Displacer. Westvale Abbey could also kill me. Yeah, I can't really beat just activating Westvale Abbey here. No reason to tell my opponent I can't win. Very dead. Okay, so we want Virulent Plague. My opponent didn't show blue, which means that it's more likely that they're more dedicated to the token strategy and less likely to board it out. Well, Languishes, we want the one to the slaughter to have the out. Worldbreaker, because it matches up well against potential 5/5s and gets rid of Westvale Abbey. Don't want to lose my price. Don't need second ruinous path. It's clunky. Don't want duress. Transgress is much better. I think I like the life gain from offshoot. This is the spot where I cut trackers before, but I cut the Great Aurora before I cut trackers. Cut Nissa. And then I think it's between Tireless Tracker and Dark Petition. Deathcap Cultivator. I'm just gonna cut Deathcap with all these languishes. Transgress might be good, but I don't know enough about what my opponent's deck is going to look like because I don't know how many colorless sources they have and whether they're just going to... It's possible that my opponent will just have a lot of cheap creatures in their deck, so I could even imagine missing the Transgress or it just not being what I need to be doing. Hand is like a good mix of colors and balance of spell, and I have like an early thing and late game. But Ulamog and Worldbreaker are not good things to have in my opening hand. This feels like the kind of hand I just usually talk myself into keeping anyway, because like if I draw a ramp spell, then Worldbreaker's fine, and my mana's good, and I can cast a thing that I draw. But it's like embarrassing to keep a hand like this because it just doesn't do anything. But the reality of the situation is that I know that my intuition is usually to keep this, and I feel like this is a spot where I'm like biased from doing what I'd usually do by the fact that I'm being observed. But I'm just gonna keep this. This is definitely the bottom end of the keepable range, if it's even keepable. Certainly wouldn't fault someone for mulliganing, and I wouldn't be surprised if I get punished, but yeah, there's a risk of ruin associated with mulligans, and this hand can, you know, just draw a Tireless Tracker and play a very reasonable game. I'm going to take the Catacomb Sifter. Opponent's hand doesn't do a lot either. That's a really good draw, actually. This isn't getting better. I guess it kind of is getting better, because if I find another way to answer the Cutthroat, then it answers Reality Smasher, but we have some time and good things to do about that. Cast this. Currently leaning toward getting a basic swamp. Because I just want to be sure that... Oh wait, I have Spell Mastery. Well, I don't have a Transgress left in my deck. Transgressing that Reality Smasher would be perfect. But yeah, I think I just get basic swamp so that I'm sure that next turn I can renewal, and then I can win the game from there. opponent, did you just not have colorless mana, or are you sitting on it? Yeah, there's not always Syndicate goes. It's funny that, with this hand that started with 4 lands, I ended up dark petitioning for a basic land, which I don't think I've ever done before, but I guess it's not that surprising given that I just had high impact expensive spells in my hand. No, I think it's actually better to Dark Petition for Seasons Past and cast Languish. Almost dead, but at the same time, I think totally alive. Can't gain life this turn, so I think I just want to have 2 the Slaughter up. guess there's no reason not to transgress because there's nothing else that I can do while having to this letter up. Okay. Play this. Attack with this. I don't think anything can beat me at this point. Close. Alright, so now I know that there are large numbers of reality smashers. Which obviously makes transgress better. A little less of the slow stuff. I wonder if I want Lambhold Pacifist for early blocks. Probably not. I wonder if I want Grasp of Darkness for more Displacer answers. If all these languishes, I think it should be fine. This hand is basically the same as last game, but I'm on the draw. I have one less land. So I've actually just traded a land for a Bellower, and I have slightly better lands, and I'm on the draw. On the draw makes the slowness of this hand more of a problem. Bellower is actually worse than a land because it makes it less likely that I get to enough mana to cast these things, but being on the draw does help in terms of my odds of drawing into lands or drawing into stuff to play in the meantime. And it worked out last game. This just looks like a relatively functional hand. And I'm keeping it. Bleed Cutthroat land. The Ruinous Path is going to give me Spell Mastery, which is important. Get rid of this thing. No idea why my opponent didn't cast the leap. Oh, is there a company coming? My opponent drew into company off the Visionary. That's very lucky. Yeah, I'm not going to win this game. Unless I draw Languish. I guess there are 4 of those. If I draw Languish this turn, I'm fine. No, I'm not. I'm just dead to the cutthroat. Well, then I can't possibly win. Question will keep, but mostly I got punished by my opponent drawing Visionary and Accompany that turn. But I did sideboard out some of this top end stuff. This was the way I imagined losing, was just getting behind. After playing this game, I think it was wrong to not bring in Limeholt Pacifist. So much of what this game is doing is just getting in early damage with these small guys. The early blocker is really valuable. I also wanted deadweight. Yeah, I just didn't adjust far enough toward treating my opponent, toward respecting this part of my opponent's deck. Yeah, that was wrong.